Hello everyone, welcome back, and yes, I did decide to play Arkham Asylum. I know it's been a few weeks, but thank you to everybody that viewed the last video. I've been busy with school, but I've been paying a lot of attention to how it was performing, and that's awesome. But anyway, we can get right into the game that started the entire Arkham franchise. In this game, we start pretty far on, apparently at the end of another story, because we've already captured the Joker. He asks us about our bat snacks, and we overall get a introduction into this Joker, which I have to say, out of all the Arkham games, this is probably my favorite Joker. We go ahead and meet Jim, and he likes us a little bit more this time around. The Joker does what he does and breaks out of his chains and tries to kill the guard that he's with while the doctor stands around and does absolutely nothing. We get to our first combat section, and honestly, the combat in this game is pretty fun. It is a little bit bare compared to, any of the other games. I noticed it especially after playing Origins. But it's a very fun combat system. It's still the same free flow. You still feel very powerful. You still feel like Batman. It's still very fun. But anyways, we have to take out Zaz now. Pretty easy to do. Kind of an intro to the stealth sections. And now we get to meet Harley, who has already captured the Warden. And man, these people in Gotham get captured so freaking easily. It's like it's part of their job just to be captured. We save some people from contamination, including that prisoner. And then we finally have our first confrontation with the Joker, and he reveals his new creations, the stupidest boss fights ever, the Titan boss fights. Luckily, this one just kind of strokes out. He just kind of falls down, doesn't make it very far. But then we find out that the Joker has conspired to capture another person, Jim Gordon, already. It did not take them very long at all. Harley comes down, faces us, drops an elevator on us to try to slow us down, but we're Batman, so obviously that is not going to work. We fight a couple of more of these little goons up here before we can keep going. But yeah, like I said, the combat of this game is super fun still. I actually enjoyed this combat a little bit more for the fact that it was so limited. After making our way through the first stealth section, we find out the tragedy that Officer Balls has been killed. We make our way out and see the outer Arkham Asylum and make our way over to our car where some thugs are beating it up, so we beat them up. We start tracking Jim again and make our way over to this next building where we knock a couple people out and definitely do not kill them. There will be no death. You will not see a bunch of people fall off that ledge. And I think they definitely would have died. Like, there's no way that if I went down there, I mean, I know it would say they were unconscious, but there's just no way that they were. Like, I had this ability, I got the combo throw, and I used that to throw people off stuff so much, and when I went to test, it was like, oh, just unconscious. But obviously, nothing can be easy in the Arkham games, so we went inside, can't get there, we have to find an alternate route. And this is a pretty cool stealth part that you're seeing now. It was one of my favorite stealth sections, but it was pretty easy. But you'll see in a second, I completed it in probably the least efficient way ever. I got shot a bunch and I thought I was just going to fail. But once I got over here, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll probably be fine. But yeah, no, I completed this in probably the most efficient way, honestly. It was just stupid. I just didn't want to replay the section to make it look pretty. We have to go save a couple doctors, so we drop a guy to his death and, release the room of the contamination. Save Aaron Cash again. Put a counter up on screen for how many times that happens. We save another doctor who tells us it's a trap, and, we get out of the trap, obviously. It's not very hard. And I get Dr. Young killed a couple times before I figure out I have to put explosive gel on the other side of the door. But I do figure it out eventually, and we save her and have a little convo with her about what we need to do and where we need to go back to. She's asking me if the Joker is in control of the asylum now, and, obviously that's a yes. It's not hard to tell. But we go back to the room and start talking to the doctors, and she has the bright idea that she wants to go back to the mansion to get her notes. And I'm like, that's stupid. But we say whatever, and some guys come in and try to kill us. We get them out of there. And we head into the elevator for our first Scarecrow section. The Scarecrow sections in this game actually were pretty cool. I just was never a big fan of the platforming part of them, but I like the, seeing the people tripping out, seeing, as you can see now, dead Jim Gordon and things like that. I always enjoyed that part of it. I just never really enjoyed the platforming part of it, but it was cool seeing Batman, trip out, seeing these different kind of things happening to him, thinking it was real at the time. But we see his dad first when we open the body bag, and then he tells us that we failed, and then we see his mom, who also is telling us that we failed. And then we open up the third bag, and you'll see who that is. And then we get to the platforming part. Woo. I just skipped all the platforming parts for you guys. I just showed what happened at the end. I don't think anybody wants to watch platforming. I mean, maybe. If you do, just let me know, and maybe I can find the footage and upload it as a separate video. We find out that Jim wasn't really dead, and we find out where he's being captured by Harley. So, obviously, we jump in through the window and land on her. Hell yeah. We cut Jim free, and he tells us about something below, and the Joker says we ruined the surprise, and yay, a Bane boss fight. After Origins, this must be really good, right? The Origins one was so good. No, it wasn't. It was trash. It was a Titan fight. It was a fucking Titan goon fight. It was terrible. We finish it pretty easily. And, drop apparently a big fucking crater type thing on him. We escape. He escapes. Holds us up in the air, but we obviously just hit him with our car. Duh. And then sink him in the water and drown him, because that's not killing either. We send Jim off back to Gotham because this place is a little bit too hardcore for him. He's just going to get captured again if he stays. But we go ahead and head on into the Batcave because apparently Batman had time, and obviously he had the money, but apparently he had the time to build a Batcave here. And that's what I've always wondered. Is he the one that puts all this stuff up, or does he pay employees off just to not talk about it? If anybody knows that answer, actually, please comment that. I'm curious. But anyways, we go in here to analyze Dr. Young's notes, see that she was working with the Joker to make all these Titan stuff. We get the Batclaw, pull some crates, whatever the hell, out of the wall. And then we make it to another section that has some very fun, very, very fun platforming. Extremely fun platforming, but I just skipped that too. We have to go to Arkham Mansion to ask Dr. Young about the notes, so we go ahead and try to take out these goons on the roof, and again, I think I did it in the least efficient way possible. I'm sure there was an easy way to do it, but it seems like I always find out the easy way to do it after I've already done it the hard way. We go into Arkham Mansion, where again they make it difficult for us because nothing can ever be easy. So we go back in and assault those same goons that were just taunting us. After getting up to date with our combos a little bit, we knock out all these goons, and I did have an easier time building up combos in this game, I think, but I think it was just because everything was a little bit more limited. The takedowns were still really fun though, but they felt, I don't know, I think they were just slower or something. Maybe they weren't, maybe I'm just tripping, but they felt like they were slower. And then we make it to another stealth section in this locker library looking area where we save Aaron Cash again. Keep up on your counters, guys. He tells us where Dr. Young's office is and tells us that it's just behind us, and I spend another 5 minutes trying to find it because I'm stupid. But then we find the office and attack some of the goons outside of it that are trying to break in. After making it in the office, we find Black Mask's mask and see that the safe was already broken into, so we start tracking her fingerprints. We make it to the library, where we have some more goons to fight through, and where we find out that the Joker, has them under the floor with a bomb. So that's a very fun development in this case. I mean, I guess it's their thing, in Arkham games, for them to have, these very weird plots, but we drop a chandelier through it, because that was probably the only option, and we find out the bomb was nothing, it was just a big boxing glove. And then we find the notes, finally, or a book that leads us to them, and we have our second Scarecrow section. This one was pretty cool, because I forgot about it. The first time I played Arkham, I was probably 13, or 14, and I just forgot about this section. But this one was pretty cool. We get to play as young Bruce, where he was still right after his parents had got shot. So that was pretty sad. But we make it through the platforming section and flash the Scarecrow once again. We drop another large thing out of the sky, this time being a bell, and we drop it down so that we can escape out of the tower. We save Dr. Young from Zaz and knock him out once again. He's honestly probably the easiest villain in this game to knock out. And then Dr. Young gets herself blown up because she, I don't know, betrayed the Joker or made him mad or something, but you know how that goes. And then Harley comes over, pretty much tells us that Dr. Young deserved it. And then she just beats up the warden in front of us for no reason. But obviously we make it out of there and keep on trucking through. After scanning the warden's blood, we decide that we have a trail we need to follow there to go find him and finally save him. And honestly, by this point, I had forgotten that the warden was somebody I needed to save, because I was just thinking about stopping the Joker, and I was thinking about saving Jim for a lot of it, because he's, a character I remember more. But honestly, this game compared to Origins, it was a bit different. I mean, the graphics and stuff wasn't that big of a difference because, they were only 4 years apart in development. So it wasn't like a huge culture shock or anything like that, but they were definitely different games. And these guys right here, these lunatics, freaked me out so bad when I first played this game. I was so scared. But we go ahead and Mog Ivy, but mogging her has no effect because Harley decides to free her anyway. So she makes it out, and, now she decides that she wants to, take all of her plants and take over the island, and that's exactly what she does. The Joker releases all the crazies on us, and when I saw that dude with the arm right there, I nearly cried when I was 13 or whatever playing this game. I was so freaking scared, dude. I always hated horror games so much. We get up here and start, it's not really the Harley Quinn boss fight yet, but it's kind of the before fight where, you're still working your way up to fighting her, where she's swinging around on that thing in the sky. But after making it through there, we have to save a couple guys from these bombs, so we do. And then he tells us where he saw Harley run to, so we head on there and we start Harley's actual official boss fight. And this thing was cool. I liked this boss fight a lot, actually. It was very fun. I mean, obviously you don't fight Harley, you just fight a bunch of goons, which, it makes sense. She was a one-shot in Arkham City, and she was probably a one-shot in this game too. But the concept of the fight was really cool, where you had the 3 levels that you're going on top of. It was just a really fun, I guess not really unique, but it was different. I enjoyed it. I got to use the combo throw, so I was happy. She comes out and, like I said before, gets one-shotted multiple times. It's pretty embarrassing, actually. And then she gets tossed in jail and tells us where Joker's lab is, even though we already knew. We make it to the gardens and find out that they have these scientists kept up in bird cage type things. So we knock out all the people in the room and lower them back down. We confront the Joker once again, and instead of a cool boss fight, he just shoots both of these guys and they become Titans. So yay, another Titan boss fight. That's exactly what everybody was asking for, I think, when they made this game, was 10,000 Titan boss fights and no other ones. That's my only gripe with this game, is the amount of Titan fights. They were just, they were hard. Sure, they had difficulty, but difficulty doesn't mean good. I mean, I pretty much got through all of them on a first or second try, especially near the end. They were way easier. But we beat them easy enough, and the Batwing comes in and gives us the line launcher, which I've always liked the line launcher. It was cool in this game. It was very useful. We confront Ivy and kill a plant, so she gets very upset. And then we threaten her and say we're going to kill every other plant if she doesn't tell us where we need to go to stop the Titan from poisoning her plants, which is Killer Croc's lair. When I heard this back in the day, dude, oh my god, I nearly just stopped playing the game. I was so close, and you'll see when we get to the lair is I pretty much Oh my god. I think I did stop playing for a little bit when I was younger. I think I stopped for at least like a day or two. I think I put the game down. I was like, this is enough. But we go talk to Aaron Cash, who actually doesn't need us to save him this time, which is pretty cool, pretty rare. And then we make our way over to kicking this guy off the roof, which it took me about an embarrassing amount of time to figure out what I needed to do here. It took me 20 minutes. But we make it into the maintenance and kick our way through this grade and have another stealth section. But the stealth sections in this game were pretty cool. I mean, they're Arkham stealth sections. They're nothing, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. But the Joker breaks our TV, and when I first played this game, I thought that was real, and I was going over to check my TV. I was pissed. I was so pissed. I was such an idiot. I was so fucking pissed. But we see this alternate reality where the Joker shoots us, and we get a respawn screen, which is pretty funny. Told us to use the middle stick. Batman digs out of his grave, and we start another platforming section, which, yes, that's what I was asking for. I was like, after this Titan boss fight, I want something fun. I want a platforming section. But this one wasn't actually that much platforming. It was pretty fun. Scarecrow is so, nervous. I guess he was scared that Batman survived so much fear toxin that he ran away from us. But we make our way through and kind of keep chasing him down. Use our combo throw a little bit more, and the combo throw, like I said, that was my favorite thing I had in this game. I don't know if it probably is in all the Arkham games, but I never used it before. But we have our final confrontation with Scarecrow, and obviously we beat him with our logic and facts, and that's not true. Killer Croc just picks him up and takes him into the water with him. We find Killer Croc's lair and get jump scared by him a few times. Even at my age now, I was still a little bit scared. Not ashamed to say it. Killer Croc is a scary ass boss fight, dude. I'm not ashamed to say that at all. But most of the time, you can see him and hear his theme from a mile away. But we collect what we need and bait him. I don't know what he was thinking was going to happen, but we just baited him and he fell into the big hole. Idiot. I mean, I guess they don't call him like anything to do with intelligence. But we make our way back to the Batcave again, where we can start synthesizing an antidote for everything. And as we're doing that, we make a little bit, and we're kind of chit-chatting with Oracle a little bit about it. Oracle was cool in this game. She was just a normal side character, nothing too crazy. But we make a little bit of antidote. Ivy destroys the Batcave. Duh. I mean, she knew where it was. She geolocated us. And that was pretty cool, though. I was not expecting that the first time it happened. And actually, though, I would love to see an Arkham game that's like between the time periods of Asylum and Origins. Like something that's like we never get to see like, what's his name? Dick Grayson. Or, obviously we see Jason Todd later on in the series, but you never get to see them as actual Robins. You only get to see Tim Drake. And I'm wondering if it's like, I think it's a 10-year time span between the two, between Origins and Asylum. And I'd just like to see a game maybe in between that shows at least one of the Jokers, and maybe you get to have them more involved in the story. Because from what I understand, before Jason Todd was quote unquote killed by the Joker, the Robin was way more involved in what Batman did. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I heard from like comics and stuff. But that would just be a pretty cool game to see, in my opinion. But we keep making our way through and shut down the Joker's plans to pump Titan into the water. And then we get into this arena area. And I know I just told you guys that Titan boss fights were just so easy and I'm just so above them and all that. But this one actually took me a while. It was just I think it was the small space plus all the enemies plus me being an idiot. But it was one of those where it was like the Bane boss fight from Origins. I had to give it a night. I didn't throw my controller this time, but I had to give it a night for sure. I had to sleep on this one. It was pissing me off because I always play these games on the hardest difficulty, because if you don't, I feel like it's just really like these games are pretty easy, even on the harder difficulties. You'll get stuck, but they're not super hard. But we make our way back to the botanical gardens and see what Ivy's done with the place. I destroy a lot of her plants. because they were pissing me off, and that was another thing I was just too stupid to understand at the start. We finally find Ivy, and her boss fight was cool. It was all right. I did die a few times. It wasn't a frustrating death though. Her fight was never frustrating. It was just it was a normal boss fight, normal difficulty. It wasn't like Bane with that stupid charging attack that pissed me off. It was just I did feel like I couldn't damage her without taking damage. I did die, I think, 3 times on it, which is, I feel like that's about normal. Maybe I'm just saying that to cope. It's a big amount of copium right there. It's normal, guys. I swear it's normal. That's like the average amount to die on a boss, I think. That's what I heard. But we blow up her pod because she was caught lacking, man. She didn't have the facilities to deal with Batman there. Even with a plant that big, a plant with so much overarching ways to kill me, she did not have it like that. So we take her out. She falls. I'm assuming it's either into the water or back into the ground. I would assume back into the ground, but I never went to go check. And we arrive. The Joker blows us up, plants a hidden bomb on us. And, obviously Batman's fine. And we make it to our final confrontation. And it was something, man. It was pretty cool. I mean, another 2 Titan boss fight, which was, that wasn't exactly my favorite part of it, but it wasn't that bad. It was just a normal boss fight. Normal final. It's kind of like a normal boss fight before the final boss, I guess, is like what it is. And, there's like that in many games. But we take out both of them pretty easy, and we finally get to the final confrontation, maybe. And we find out that Gordon was captured the whole time. I don't even know what he did on the boat. It was like the guard. I guess the guard might have been paid off by Joker to just turn it around or kidnap him or something. But Gordon is always just getting captured. We take a bullet for him though, or I guess a Titan shot for him. And the Joker tickles us a little bit, which obviously we say get out of here with that shit. Jack Ryder shows up, and just as he shows up, the Joker has turned himself into a Venom monster. And this boss fight was so underwhelming. It was just like, I waited the whole game for this. Like, you could see me on the screen just dodging around the arena. This was disbelief. I mean, the enemy fighting was cool, but I'd done that the entire game. I wanted something maybe a little bit different for the boss fight. I mean, something a little bit original. I mean, I guess it was, the spectacle of it was cool. I mean, it felt, there was definitely a spectacle element to it. It was pretty neat, but it was definitely not my favorite. There were definitely better boss fights. It wasn't Firefly. I didn't hate it as much as the Firefly fight, but obviously we just pull him off the roof a couple times, keep smacking him down, keep smacking some more enemies down. But this game overall was very good. The atmosphere of this game is what makes it, in my opinion. It just feels like a Batman horror game. And the horror elements of this game, like, it is a scary ass game. 100%. There's some parts of this game that really jump scared me, that really got me. But overall, it's just a really good game. It's a solid game. We knock out the Joker with our explosive hand. And what I more mean by solid game, I mean, not that it's like a, just an okay average game. I mean, it's a great game. It started one of the best series I've ever played, one of my favorite series ever. But looking at it as a standalone game, I mean, it's pretty solid. Like I say, the atmosphere makes it, in my opinion. The atmosphere of, you're here alone. It's all the lunatics are out. It's a really scary environment too. I mean, everything in Arkham is built up that way. But overall, it's a great game. I really enjoyed my time with it, and I think I'm either gonna play City next and hopefully not corrupt all my footage, or I'm in the middle of playing Spider-Man and God of War 2018 now. So if you guys want to see those beforehand, just let me know. It might take me a little bit longer, but I am a little bit through those games already, and I'm recording everything I'm doing just in case I use the footage. But yeah, you guys just let me know what you want to see, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This one was pretty fun to make too. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Not nearly as frustrating as the other, but I give this is definitely my 3rd favorite Arkham game. 100%. It goes overnight for me. I know that's going to be a crazy take. I want to see people in my comments tell me to kill myself now. But no, I'm going to say Asylum overnight for me, in my personal opinion. I've just always liked it better. I mean, it's just the atmosphere. That's what does it. Seriously. So my current ranking is City, Origins, Asylum, and then Night. It's not like I don't like Night or it's bad. It's just fourth best. But anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed, and thank you so much for the support on the last video. And like I said, just let me know what you guys want me to play, and I'll get to it. Y'all have a great day. Goodbye.